Hey, well, those off-year elections that 10 or 15 years ago really didn't mean a whole lot, but everything changes, and the off-year, the importance of the off-year election has also evolved into something that's really important politically because they tend to show how the country really feels prior to a major national election. The 2024 being the presidential election. And it's major in many ways because since 2015, I'm not going to say it was the rise of the fascists behind the MAGA label. Fascism has always been an element of American politics, whether you want to acknowledge it or not. Maybe that was probably part of the problem that made it such a almost near success this time. We always failed to acknowledge it. We always acted like it didn't exist. America was a utopia of democracy. We were a democratic republic. Everybody voted, majority rule. And when Trump came down the escalator, one thing that he did do that was painfully good for the country, he started pulling back the blinders, and we started to see America for what it truly was. And for a lot of us, it was abhorrent. It was disgusting. It was maybe even for some of us what we thought it was, but to see it wide open, exposed, like, a pustule sore, a cankerous sore, Trump did that. And even though the majority of us will probably hate him for life, it may be the one thing that woke up America, because in this off-year election, it seems that MAGA ideals are being pushed, if not out, even if they are still being supported somewhat in the areas where, everything is MAGA, because there are areas where, ultra-conservative, right-wing, everything does exist in this country, and this is the United States. We are a melting pot. We are a democracy. So why shouldn't we expect that? It doesn't mean that we have to accept it, but we should, be wise enough to expect it. But anyway, even in those areas where Republicans should be, performing at a plus 90% rate, they're only performing at, plus 30. So what happened to the other 60% that was totally Republican? That means that 60% either voted for something else. It wasn't enough to make a majority, but if that 60% say goes another way, doesn't go Republican in the national election, the presidential election that's coming up, or decides not to go for the party's senatorial candidate, it's going to cause a problem. It's going to cause a problem. It's going on the national level. That's 60% in the swing state going for, God forbid, the Democratic candidate, even if it is probably going to be Joe Biden. And see, this is what this off-year election has proven. It's probably been a point that's been smacking pollsters in the face now for the last good 2 election cycles, because the polls have been shockingly, amazingly wrong. The first example was with Hillary Clinton losing to Trump. Everybody thought Hillary had it hands down. Hillary thought she had it hands down, but Trump proved them wrong. Polls. Then on the flip side, after Trump won, and then he was running against Biden, it seemed that Trump had it locked down until COVID hit, and then even during COVID, because Biden was campaigning from his basement, it seemed that Trump still had the upper hand. But it was proving the fact that a lot of people in this country, no matter how much trust or faith we put in our political polling system, we don't participate in polls. We participate where it does count, where what we say actually still means something, and that's at the ballot box. Now, all the other, altercations and little manifestations of the political trolls to defeat the ballot box or to control the ballot box, the public is just really getting involved in it, and they're starting to understand if you let Congress, or if you let your lawmaking assemblies get away with cheating one group of people, even if you would agree with the people in Congress that you don't like them people, you still have to acknowledge that if they can do it to them, they can do it to you. And sooner or later, it's going to come to the point where these people have so much power in these state houses and in our own national Congress that the voice of the people is not going to matter, and the nation will be, at the very minimum, an autocratic democracy where very few have the rule over everybody else. I mean, financially, economically, we're already at that 1% of the people own 95, 96% of the wealth. It, goes back and forth. But how can that be where 1% of the total population of the world owns 90% of the world's wealth? Where does everybody else fit in? Where does everybody else have a seat at the table, considering that the majority of everybody else are the majority of the people that actually generate that wealth? But this off-season election stuck a big pin in the balloon of fascism, the rising balloon of fascism, because with all the back and forth that's going on in the United States Congress, and most of it being caused by the far right, the regular rich people, the regular conservative rich people that still have half a brain, even though they can't find their spine anymore, realize that this extremism is not going to work. On the other side, on the Democratic side, the extremists are becoming more moderate, because they are realizing that Joe Biden is older than dirt. Joe Biden really should not even be considered to be president. But at this late date, when nobody has done anything, and Biden, whatever was accomplished by the Democratic Party, Biden accomplished it, regardless of what you think about his age, what you think about him as a person, what you think about Hunter Biden. Anything that was accomplished under the Biden administration, and anything that was accomplished by the Bidens, it was accomplished by over 100% Republican opposition. Anything that you can look at that is good, the Infrastructure Act, the CHIP Act, the revitalizing American manufacturing, standing on the side of the workers during the recent auto strike. All of that is Biden, and I am not a Biden fan. I really wish that there was somebody younger that the Democratic Party could put up. But see, the problem with putting up somebody younger is, what's their platform going to be? What do they have? What plan? What record do they have? This way, we have somebody, even though they're older than shit, they have a proven record. We may not like the record, but it is a positive record. And when you compare it to the negativity of Trump, and you actually stand up and promote that fact, instead of sitting there going, oh yeah, we did this, we did that, all right, vote for me. No, you got to start yelling that shit from the top of the mountain. Everybody has to be into what Biden has done. Albeit, it may not be anywhere near what a lot of us think should have been done, could have been done, but it has been done, and that's more than we can say for Trump. And this is something hard. This is hard evidence that we have to beat Trump over the head with. There's a lot of people out there, still, their minds aren't made up. They're not sure about anything. And they're susceptible to constructive coercion. I shouldn't say coercion. That makes it seem kind of criminal. But people want to find out what's going on. There's a lot of Trump people that are ready to change, but there's also a lot of people. I'm not going to say Biden people. All right, I'll say it. There's a lot of Biden people that are ready to change, and the only change is because we are a two-party system is to go to the opposite side, and this is what we, as I guess blue Democrat, whatever you want to call it, Biden supporters. Just because you support Biden doesn't mean that you agree with Biden. You support Biden because you have no other choice. This is something, after this election is over with, irregardless of who the winner is, and maybe unfortunately if Trump is the winner, we won't get a chance to do this anyway, but we need to start working on either a third party or working on these two parties to actually put up candidates that mean something, actually candidates that are mentally and physically able to carry the party, carry a platform, carry the American people. When you're the president, you represent everybody, not just, the Republicans, not just the Democrats, not just the people that, have bank accounts in the same bank that you do, not just the people that you want to get a loan from. You represent every American, from the poorest to the richest, from whatever color to the whitest, the most albino, from the most handicapped to the most physically fit, from the smartest to, IQ of a rock. But as long as they are Americans, you represent them all. And this thing of, I only represent the people that put me here and I'm going to do everything I can for these people, that's got to stop, because this country cannot survive without everybody contributing something. Yes, some people got to contribute more, but it's not the poor have to contribute more. The rich got to contribute too. There's certain things that the poor have to contribute. Getting your kids back in school, keeping your kids in school, keeping your kids in school. Participate in these programs that help you get a job, and then once you get the job, stay on the job. There's compromise going both ways. Some people have to put in some hard physical work. Some people just have to sign, take a pen and sign a piece of paper and let go of a few $100,000. But that kind of commitment is needed from both sides. But this off-season, off-year election is proving that the real voice of America still will show up when it's needed. And I guess that's a positive thing for democracy. Well, that's it for me. That's all I got to say. That's all. You can meditate on it, get back to me, disagree with me, throw a can of ketchup at the wall. Just, follow your idol. But who cares? But, from the bottom of my heart to everybody, always, as always, peace out and God bless from Uncle Ricky at Uncle Ricky's house.